Hello, let's talk about how I would paint this painting. This was sent to me by one of my students in my online course, and it is of some yellow tulips and some mandarin oranges. My general impression of it is that it's very well drawn, that it has a nice feeling to it. I like the little drawing lines that are in it, and I like the lost edge on the left side of the base. So what would I change about this painting? There are three things that I would change. One, I don't feel that the focal point is strong enough. I think that the color scheme needs to be strengthened, particularly on the table. And it's all in the middle value. It needs more value range. Let's talk about the focal point. I noticed that when I look at the reference photo, it originally had more of the tulips, and it's been cropped off for this painting. And I think that's because the tulips aren't the focal point, and that actually makes that clearer to have it cropped off. What that means is one of the mandarin oranges is going to be the focal point, and we have 4 of them. The problem is none of them is standing out particularly to me. When I look at them, I pretty much rule out the one on the left because it's too close to the edge. That's not a good place for a focal point. We like it on the golden mean intersections. I look for compositional elements that will direct my eye to one of them. Immediately I notice the tulip stems that point down to the second one. I notice a really strong leaf that points to the second one. So it's the second orange that will be the focal point. How would I make the focal point stronger? Well, you do that with 3 things. One is high contrast. So we're gonna have to make the shadow side darker. We're gonna have to make more shadows around it. And then hard edge on there. So when I put down a highlight or something, maybe it'll be really strong. And the third thing is color excitement. So I'm going to save the most saturated, luscious colors for this orange. And if I just go over to the painting and make those changes to that one orange, you can see that already it stands out. It draws your eye just from having the contrast and the saturated colors. The second thing I mentioned, the color scheme is not definite. Particularly, I noticed it on the table. You'll notice that the color that was used to make shadow is also in the lit part of the table. What's that color doing in the lit part? Because that's supposed to be shadow. If we compare the light side to the shadow side on some of the objects, I can see that there's more yellow in the lit parts, like the green stems and on the orange. So I know that it is some form of yellow. I'm going to choose lemon yellow, and that will appear in most of the lit objects. If the light is lemon yellow, that means the shadows have purple in them. So let's go ahead and change the table to have a little lavender in the shadows and more yellow in the light. So let's do that right now. All right, comparing the finished painting with the reference photo, I noticed that the background is much darker in the reference photo. It would be a good idea to have a darker background because too much of the painting is in middle value. If the background is darker, then it will divide the painting into 2 shapes instead of one giant shape of middle. It'll be a darker and a lighter. The table will be lighter, the background will be darker. I mentioned the compositional elements that point you to the focal point. And those are the stems, so I need to emphasize those. Also, there's another stem over on this other orange. Let's put that in. I'm going to put some shadows, dark shadows next to the orange, and that will bring more attention to that area. Go ahead and carry through these ideas through the rest of the painting. Here are the before and the after. Happy painting!